Just over a week ago, a notice was put out on Facebook indicating that 25-year-old level 300 mass communication student of the Benue State University in Nigeria called Erika Naomi Dooshima had been missing for almost a week, and all efforts to trace her have proved futile. Fast forward, her body has been found. Now, this true crime story will send chilling waves down your spine when you begin to find out what actually led to her being killed by somebody. This is the true crime story of Erika Naomi Dooshima, and it involves some money for rent and then an agent who said that he could get her the apartment that she was looking for. And then in the mix, there is a betting company, and then there's a murder. If you are ready for this true crime story, just buckle up and let's go. So, over a week after Erika had been declared missing, it turns out that her body had been found and that she was dead. Now, looking at the manner in which the body was found, or the manner in which the body was when it was found, it was obvious that she was murdered by somebody because she had wounds all over her head and her face. Wounds that from an instance seemed more like wounds that would have been inflicted by a machete or a sharp object. So investigations escalated because initially she was deemed missing, now she is confirmed dead. Some of her friends who were last seen with her were picked up allegedly so they could assist police with the ongoing investigation. And as this was going on, little did the police know that they were backing up the wrong tree, and rightly so. Every investigation starts without the purview of the police not being narrow. They expand it so much, and then as the investigations proceed, based on their findings, they begin to narrow down to certain people and certain spaces. It makes sense. That is standard operating practice. So some few of her friends were picked up for questioning. Now, coincidentally, reports indicate, allegedly, that whilst these friends were in the company of the police, they also saw that there was another man who turns out that he's called Japhet Ugoso Shabwa. And this man is somebody who parades himself as someone who can help you get an apartment if you want to rent one. So these friends of the deceased, Erika, whilst they were in the company of some police officers, also saw that this gentleman was also with the police. And when they saw him, they quickly told the police officers that, oh, yeah, we know this guy. We remember that Erika actually gave him some money to rent an apartment for her just around the time before she died. And I tip my hats off to the Nigerian police because they then decided that, okay, then this guy is also a person of interest in this case because he had a transaction with the deceased just before her murder. So it's good we look into how this guy knew this lady. Now, on that tangent of the investigation, it would later turn out that the police had confirmed that indeed the lady wired 150,000 naira to this gentleman. Okay, so then the question was, what was the money meant for? And it was confirmed that just as the deceased friends had said, it was meant for the guy to rent an apartment for the lady. Okay, let's pause there. It is worth mentioning to you that when Erika's body was found, it was already buried and was being now exhumed by the police. But the first signs of possible death that the police came across before finding the body was Erica's clothes soaked in blood with her phone and other personal accessories, which were lying by the side of the road, which would turn out to be in the opposite direction of where her body would end up being found out. Okay, so now fast forward. The police are with this Japhet person, whom they have confirmed that there was a financial transaction between himself and Erica, the deceased, just before the day she would pass. So they decided to look further into it, to query this guy further. And eventually it turns out that this Japhet guy, as part of his rent agency Operandu, had actually been contracted by Erica to get an apartment for her, and she had paid him a whooping 150,000 naira for him to do so for her. He confessed to the police that instead of using the money to go and secure an apartment for this young lady, he rather decided that he was going to use the money to bet online on sports games. Now, no disrespect to anybody, he is presumed innocent until proven guilty. But if these reports are true, then I beg to ask, where is the wisdom in this? If you want to gamble, why don't you gamble with your own money? But you take the money of a prospective customer who has given you money to go and rent an apartment for her and a young lady at that, and you rather decide that you are going to use it for gambling. One, not only is that unprofessional, but I believe that it's a very bad decision and it puts a question mark on his level of intelligence. But it didn't end there, because guess what? When he went to gamble with the money on sports betting, he lost it. And then he came back after losing the money and decided that the best way to get out of that problem is to get Erica killed. So not only have you misappropriated her money meant for you to get an apartment for her, you also didn't get the apartment for her, and on top of that, you decided that you were going to take her life. So what did Erica actually do wrong? Per the outcome, it means that her only mistake was that she came to this agent in particular that, get me an apartment, take this money and get me an apartment. And I don't think she did wrong in doing that. But per how this has played out, these guys' actions have shown that it was just unfortunate that she approached this particular person for that support. Now, if this turns out to be true, I'm praying that this guy gets the full sentence he deserves, because this is outright stupid if it is true. Because how can you do this? Even first of all, deciding that you are going to take the lady's money and instead of using it to rent the apartment for her as contracted, you rather decide to spend it on gambling. That in itself is so stupid and unprofessional. Not to talk of the fact that after you have lost the money, you decided, okay, no problem, I'm just going to take her life. It doesn't make sense. And he goes on in his confession to explain that after he invited her for a meeting on this rent thing one night, and when she came, he attacked her with a cutlass, a machete, and he just slashed her on the head severally and killed her. And after he had done that, he soaked her clothing in her blood with her phone and then took them and dumped them at the opposite direction of where the whole thing had happened, so that it would sort of misdirect the police investigations and send them down a different path. And then he buried her in a different location as well. And if you look at this guy, he is such a young guy. I wonder, how did he sleep at night? And how has he been sleeping at night since doing that? Because this is so cold-blooded. This is unprovoked. Even if it was provoked, it still isn't understandable, not to talk of when it is unprovoked. You took this lady's money after entering into a contract with her, you breached the contract, you wasted her money, and then you decided the best way to get out of the debt is to just kill her. That is cold. But then again, like I've always been saying, you never know what is out there. You don't even know who you are going to meet and what they are behind the smiles that they are showing you. This case is still ongoing in Nigeria, and it's so sad because they are just coming out of an election, and the election in itself is also brewing a lot of controversy, to the point one party is threatening to go to court. The whole country is going through a very difficult time, and to have this also happen, I just don't get it. I don't get it why people can be so cold-blooded and insensitive. So how did he do this? Looking at the person and then deciding that you are taking a machete to slash the head severally till she dies because of 150,000 naira. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I think that this is one of the most unheard of things that you can think of, not to talk of actually have it happen between two young people. And the guy who did this, the Japhet gentleman, is also a student of the same institution. He's in level 400 and the victim is in level 300. So you actually have a future ahead of you right after graduation. Why do you go ahead and do this? But then again, you can't try to rationalize with somebody who has gone off the deep end. So at best, you just have to keep an eye out and stay safe. We wish the family of Erica the strength to go through these difficult times. But hey, let's have a conversation on this. What do you think about the actions of Japhet, the rent agent? Until we come again another time, stay safe out there.